Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Anshuk. I'm a junior in aerospace engineering. I'm originally from Hyderabad in India. Um, in the aerospace department, I'm heavily involved in the Illinois Space Society. That's where I've learned almost everything I know. Um, it's a student organization for those interested in space exploration. So I've held different roles in it. Last year, I was the avionics lead, which means I was in charge of all the electronics in the rocket. And this year, I'm the society's technical director. But in general, in aerospace, what I love to do is work on control systems, which is the part of the rocket that controls how the rocket flies. That's a little bit about me and what I really do in aerospace.
Okay. Oh, I
Mhm.
forgot to introduce myself. My name is Naomi, and I'm a sophomore in undeclared engineering. And currently, I'm interested in aerospace.
Nice.
So, what can you tell someone like me, or like to any high school or younger generations,
Mhm.
um, about aerospace?
So one thing that's interesting about aerospace is it's not one particular skill. Like it's not like mechanical engineering or computer engineering where you're learning about, you know, machines or you're learning about computers. Aerospace engineering means you're building planes and rockets, right? But there's so many things that go into that. You need to know mechanical engineering. You need to know parts of materials. You need to know parts of computer science and so on and so forth. It's really a combination of a bunch of different subjects. And that's, I think, the best way to describe it. So if anyone is ever interested in aerospace engineering, I think the main thing you need to look out for is be interested in a lot of things because you'll be hit with a lot of different kinds of things that all come together and make like some awesome planes or awesome rockets or awesome satellites. Uh, and I think that is one of the coolest parts of aerospace, honestly. Mhm.
What kind of things do you do, like as tech director, and how do you think it will impact you in your career path?
So that's a good question. So in the Illinois Space Society, we do 4 different technical projects. And technical projects is just like a bunch of people, a big team working on a particular project together. Uh, the 4 projects that we have this year, one is called NASA Micro G, where we develop tools for astronauts to use as a part of a challenge that NASA does for undergrad students. Um, then there's the NASA Rascal competition, which is a competition for students to develop missions to Mars with a particular prompt. Our biggest tech project is our large rocketry project, where the whole team comes together and builds an entire rocket. It's a high-powered rocket that generally goes like 10,000 feet, 30,000 feet, and we want to go higher and higher. And that's actually our biggest project, and we have a lot of people working on that. And then there's also a propulsion project where we build rocket engines. It's a very difficult one. It's goes through quite a lot of challenges, but we try to build solid engines, hybrid engines, all kinds of different rocket engines to propel our large rocketry projects. So my job as tech director is to make sure that all 4 projects are progressing the way they need to, making sure that all 4 projects don't have any major issues. They're making sure that they all have a set goal and that everyone in the tech projects is having a good time and learning new skills. On a daily basis, I just keep tabs on all the different tech projects, talk to the team leads of each project, making sure they're okay, making sure all the team members are okay, uh, and in general, making sure that everyone is having fun learning what they really, really want to learn and working on cool stuff.
What inspired you to take on this career path? Like, were there any formative experiences that you've had
Mhm.
that led you here?
So I guess going back to high school, I was a big math and physics guy. I knew nothing about engineering. Like I was very much pure math. Like I loved calculus. I loved like the physics, like pure physics of it. I never really thought of it in a super applied manner. Always just like solving the problems. But then when I got closer to college and I was thinking of, what should I do? What should I work on? I thought, what if we could take this math and physics and apply it in a really, really cool way? Like which engineering does that the best? And I was looking at aerospace engineering and I saw like the video of the Falcon Heavy. I don't know if anyone knows the Falcon Heavy test flight in 2018, but there's a video of both the rockets coming back and landing at the same time.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my God, that's actually insane that they can do that with just like maths and physics. So that's one of the things that inspired me to go into aerospace engineering and choose it as my major so I can apply math and physics in a really cool way. Um, some smaller but equally like influencing sources is my favorite movies. Interstellar is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, I
And
like
every
that
time
one
I
too.
watch it or listen to the music from the movie, I'm like, space is cool. So uh, lots of things, but yeah, it's aerospace is just like such a cool application of math and physics that it inspired me to go in.
What do you think are some common misconceptions in your work?
I think often, this must be a common answer, but people always call it rocket science, and
Mm,
it's always like, oh, this is rocket science. It's so hard. It's not really. It's like like I said before, it's just a combination of so many different skills that you don't have to be like a big genius. You don't have to be super amazing at physics or anything. There's so many different skills that could come in and help you. One of the examples that I was thinking of actually is a few friends of mine are big into theater. Uh,
yeah.
and you would be like, okay, how does theater relate to rockets? But they're actually the most really like they're really really good with launch operations, which is like on the pad when the rocket is on pad. uh what order do we do things in so nothing fails, like systematic manner, logically go from step to step, making sure everything is good, everything is a go, and then count down, right? That stuff they're the
Oh
best at,
yeah.
because they do something very similar in theater. They need to have it completely planned, and they're also very very creative. So like there's so many things that could relate to aerospace, and you don't need to be a genius. You it's just another subject, but the result is you can make really cool stuff. So uh, the main thing is be curious, be excited about it, and it'll be fun.
What does your work mean for us in the future, or how do you think it impacts our everyday lives?
So the interesting thing about aerospace is that it's it's the cutting edge of engineering, right? You need to come up with really unique things to be able to solve the problems that are up in space. But that also means that whatever you solve up there becomes very useful for us here on the ground. Uh, and that means that, all the technology, all the engineering that you do for rockets or planes, that does come down and make things on the ground more efficient. Like if it wasn't for all the advancement that they did for planes back in during World War II, then we wouldn't have the commercial planes that we use every single day today. And the same thing goes for
Yeah.
space. There's a lot of things that they developed for the Apollo missions that helped advance computing. If they didn't work on a lot of the computers for the Apollo mission, then our computers wouldn't be as advanced as they are today. Um, so there's a lot of really important things, and I'm sure that whatever we're working on right now, whether it's me, my teammates, my classmates, people who are working in this industry now, or all of you who will be working in the industry in the future, you'll make a significant impact both in space and also on the ground.
What are some challenges that you faced, like in the projects that you've done, or even in school, like
Mhm.
academic wise?
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of fun, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
There's. Uh, it's a lot of difficult stuff as well. Like classes are interesting, but they're not super easy. Sometimes you do get big equations thrown at you, and you'll be like, "What's going on? I have no idea what's going on here." But the best part is that you have people who also are going through the same thing. And so some of my favorite moments have been like somebody who does understand it comes and explains it to me. And that feeling that when you finally take this big equation that you have no idea what it meant, and then with all of you working together, you'll be like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then,
Yeah.
that feeling is great. And the same thing goes for technical projects. Like we struggle all the time. Sometimes we fall behind schedule. Sometimes we're not sure what we're doing. There's logistical issues, but then when we come together and solve it, maybe even pulling some long hours, maybe working until midnight or after that, which I don't recommend doing, but we've done.
Yeah.
uh, and then when it all comes together, you're like, this is something we're proud of, because this was something that we worked on. So challenges will be there, but you learn the most when you overcome them.
If you could go back in time and do anything differently in your career path, what would you do?
Hmm. I think I'd go back to my freshman year self tell them to take it a little bit more easy. I think I might
Yeah.
have stressed myself out too much freshman year. Uh, but in general, I think it is still college. I think you should get a good balance of working hard, learning new things, and also spending time with friends, because you learn a lot just from talking to friends. What they might be in different subjects, they might be in different majors, completely different people. But that's the people who we learn from the most as well. Just talking to people,
Yeah.
talking to upperclassmen can be really useful. So if you're a freshman, or if you're in high school and you want get the opportunity to talk to a college student, a senior in college, or even like somebody who's working in the industry, they could give you a lot of useful information, and you need to take that and analyze it and think about, how could I apply this in my life, or how could I apply this to what I'm interested in. um, Sometimes I talk to like people, uh, business majors, or agriculture majors, and they're obviously studying something completely different, but they're also thinking about their subject, and so thinking about what they're thinking about could help you in your own endeavors. So I'd say, if I went back and told myself, like, you know what should you do differently, I'd say is like spend more time talking to people, uh, and learn from others.
Where do you see yourself in like 10 years?
Ooh, I'm not sure, honestly. We'll see, but I definitely want to work in the aerospace industry. The thing that I think I touched on this, but the thing I want to work on the most is something called GNC, which stands for guidance, navigation, and control. So you're building the rockets, and they're super powerful and they're huge. How do you make them go where they need to go, right? That's what I
Yeah.
want to work on. That's what I want to be, an engineer who works on that, and can guide the rockets to where they need to go. And so in 10 years, I really want to be the team lead of someone who's like in charge of this huge rocket, and be the one who's in charge of making sure that the rocket is stable and controllable, uh, and can do some cool stuff like landing back like the SpaceX rockets do. Maybe
Yeah.
something even cooler that no one's ever come up with. I would love to come up with something like that. That would be incredible. Obviously, that's a lot of responsibility, but I think in 10 years, I think that's where I'd want to be.
Lastly, what's a piece of advice you would give high schoolers or younger generations to be successful in the career?
Mhm. Be curious, be confident. I think oftentimes you think, oh wow, that person's so cool, that person knows so much, I don't know anything. Everyone thinks that. I've thought that so many times as well. Is But you need to be confident in yourself. You will realize that you can definitely do. If they've done it, you can obviously do it as well. You can do even more. Just be confident. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot of things that'll be confusing, so ask questions. You won't look stupid. Just
Mhm.
you questions is only if you ask a question will you get an answer. So be confident, ask questions, and that's how you learn the most. And that's when you'll realize that you've learned so much just from asking questions and talking to people. And yeah, be confident in your endeavors. That's the main advice.
Okay.
Mhm,
Well, thanks so much for your feedback, and it
mhm.
was nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you as
Um,
well.